morning everyone, and today's video is all about when to get admission to cheap universities in Turkey. And this has been a very question that I'm asking most of you who have tested me so far. I'll ask you, what is your budget? So based on this, I'll do more research about the university for you. But there is something that I want to share out there, because not all of you can afford to pay this huge amount of money, $5,000, $3,000, $6,000. All this amount of money is kind of very high for most of us to pay. So I have decided to do this video to clarify the time and when to get admission to cheap universities, and where are these cheap universities located, and where can we get them. Now, before I start, I know that early January most of the private institutions will open their admission out, and it will continue till July. And the public university, most of the public university will open their applications somewhere around late March till July also as well. But the question is this: where are these universities located? Where are they located? Where can you find this? And most of the, I would say that most of the top universities, like the first 10 or the best universities in Turkey, the tuition fee is kind of very cheap, but it's very competitive for you to get admission in these universities. So in the time that they normally open or open for undergraduate students is somewhere around April, May, June. In these particular months, that's when they open admission for general public. That is for international students as well. So the best option is that if you want to get a cheap university, you can get them as early as April, May, June, that way, and somewhere around ending of July, the announcement, the result will be out. Then somewhere around August, ending of August, they will ask you to come. Then September, school will start. But there is this thing I'm asking: where are these cheap universities located? Because there are some universities, for instance, you can pay as less as $200 per year, right? But where is this university located? These universities are being located in a village, okay? This university are being located in a village. But do you want to find yourself in this village? No, nobody wants to live in a village, and I will not encourage anyone to live in these kind of places. But there are but don't worry. There are universities also who are also equally cheap, but they're located in Ankara, Istanbul, Izmir, Antalya as well. And these universities are very cheap, and you can also apply them. But mostly their admission is open April, May, June. In that area, that's when the admission is open. The advice that I would like to say is this: before you come to Turkey, don't advise anyone to come to Turkey and be schooling in those villages. I will encourage you to come to Ankara, Istanbul, Izmir, and Antalya. Because these are the 4 biggest cities in Turkey, and I will encourage you to come there. But there are universities where you pay very little. Okay, it's like something like 400 TL, sorry. I'm mentioning $400 per year. Okay, you pay like $500 or $600 per year. These universities are located in a village. When I say village, I don't mean like it's a village, but as compared to other cities, that one is being considered as a village. So I don't encourage someone to go to that place. But if the situation where you come to a place like Ankara, man, you're going to enjoy, because there are a lot of privileges. For example, Istanbul, for students, the whole month you pay 40 TL, which is almost like $9 to $10. It's not up to $9 to $10. It's not up to that. It's like $6 to $7 per month. That's for transportation. You pay $6 to $7 per month. Okay, and you can board a bus 200 times. For example, when it comes to Ankara, currently they have introduced a system where students, you have to pay like 60 TL. 60 TL is equivalent to $10. Okay, $10 means that means you can board a bus 200 times in a month without paying. It's free. You just subscribe, just like you do subscription. You pay that. It's very easy for you to get access to a lot of educational areas and activities as a student. We are young, we are not old, where we come and be staying in our rooms and like that. We need to explore, we need to go around, we need to do things. So these are the places where you can do that. Okay, now if you can finance yourself, okay, because the public universities is very competitive. When your academic record is very high, the probability of you getting admission in the public university is very high. But the situation where your academic record is very low, and you can afford, I will encourage you to the private university. If you can afford the fees, I will encourage you to go there, because for the public university, you pay less, but it is very competitive, because most of the students are there. most of you are going to compete with a lot of people. But if your academic record is very low, I will encourage you to go, and you can afford the fees. I will encourage you to go to the private institution, because they can accept you and you start the program. And along the line, you can reapply for a state university and do transfer application. Okay, but this is not combined. You can do that. You can do this one also. There's something that I want to clear also. The application in Turkey, most of the state university, I mean states, the application fee is free, but they will let you post your documents, the scanned one, colored one, to them through post office. Okay, but in generally, most of the application fee is free for the state university. Not all the state universities that you have to pay at the what's the name admission fee, but you have to post your document to them through post office. You have to do this. But some of the application fee, some of the university accept you pay application fee. Something like Yildirim Beyazit, Ankara University is free. Yildirim Beyazit you have to pay. Hacettepe is free. O2 is free. And I'm talking about Ankara. And when you go to Boğaziçi, you have to pay. If you go to Istanbul Technique, you have to pay. But you see, the ones that are free application, this one, it depending on your academic performance. That's what they will take you. And mostly, these are the top schools in Turkey. The top schools in Turkey. These are the top schools that you are in Turkey. Okay. For masters and PhD programs, mostly they can open it at any time, depending on the department. For example, my school, for instance, like there are some times that they can open it in. If right now they are. Right now, I think they are accepting new graduate students, but depending on the department, they don't make it general, but department by department. That's why the application goes. So depending, the application period and the months varies. Okay. Now the next thing I want to talk about the schools with the cheapest. I've talked about the school with the cheapest university. An agent is good if you cannot do that yourself. But however, make sure that you ask some basic questions which are very, very important. The tuition fee. Are they going to give you accommodation? That's why almost most of you have WhatsApp me, send me an email. I really like your emails because your question. I really like your question because you ask the basic, the most important questions. Like you ask questions like, are they going to give you admission? The accommodation? Are they going to? When is the admission going to open? Why the tuition fee? All these are the basic information. For example, you just give your documents, your CVs, everything to the what's the name, to the agent. Please do application for me. He can do any application for you. What is that? The most important thing is that he will get admission for you and take his money. He doesn't care whether you get that you can pay for a tuition fee or not. Maybe from the beginning you must try to struggle or put things together to raise that amount of money and start the first year or the first semester. But the subsequent semesters you could find difficulties. So this is very, very important. Before you use any application, ask for the tuition fee. Are there any scholarship? Are they giving any scholarship? Yes, there are some universities that they offer you 50%, 20%, 70%. Some of them even offer you 100% if your academic record is very, very good. They can give you 100% scholarship. And ask all these questions. And let the person know your budget. And some of you, I'll ask you, some of you have content so far, I'll ask you, what is your budget? Because I have to know that. Based on that, I'll also be able to know that, oh, this school offer your program, and based on that you can apply because it's within your budget. Okay, so make sure that what is my budget, what can I afford for the first year, what can I afford for the first year, what can I afford, what can I pay, what can't I pay. So you have to know all this. And the advice I will give you is this: make sure that for the first 3 to 4 months you have all the accommodation in your pocket. Why is it this? Because for the first 3 months and 4 months, that school is in session. So you have to go to school. So you have to pay. But that short break, or along the line, you could get something doing a small to support yourself for the subsequent semester. So that's what I'm saying. Get something doing. And make sure you have all your first year tuition fee with you. Because if you're able to get your tuition fee, you will struggle to get some to pay your accommodation. And this is kind of very easy. But the situation you didn't pay your full tuition fee, you pay half, accommodation half, you are going to find yourself in trouble. Yes, and make sure you get some cash on you. Don't fall for those people, because the guys, most of the schools with the cheapest tuition fee are located in the city which are not developed. Okay, so when you find yourself in those cities, you don't be surprised if you find yourself like you're only black or you are only few blacks there. Okay, in that case, you become celebrating that village. When you find yourself in a place like this where you are the only black, only guy in that place, you can celebrate it. But the chance is this: the place is not developed. There are no businessmen in that particular city, so it's kind of very hard for you to. I mean, you know the movement. So, and those of you also who have completed your bachelor degree program in your home country, or master's degree in your home country, and you want to further your education, there's a school and application is ongoing right now. I'm going to leave the form under the description there. If you really want to apply, and the deadline is 20th, that's next week Monday. So if you want to apply for that particular school, fill in the form. I will do the application online for you. Then you continue. Then you continue from that place. And the next thing I'm going to talk about, that make sure that you subscribe and share with your friends. If you are new here, try to share with your friends. If you are also old here, thank you for the love and support from day one. And I will try as much as I can to answer your question, to look for more information and give you more feedback. And I will try to make myself available for you at any time. And thank you very much, and see you next time. Goodbye.